Luke Shaw is back training with the rest of the team for the first time in a couple of months. Question is it a fresh start for him or is it another day, him returning and going back? Because it's not the first time we say this. He is always back and away, back and away. What exactly is bound to happen? Meanwhile, there will be an army of players that Ruben Amorim will be banking on as manager as he starts life as Man United boss. But question is, will Rod van Nistelrooy have a part to play in his job there? Because conversations about the future of Rod van Nistelrooy are not stopping, even when he's left with one game as interim manager. Welcome to the United Sport. My name is Webb. Like, share, and do subscribe because Man United is about to get more exciting. Let's get it. Let's talk about it. Let's dive in it. Now, listen, here's the statement from the club about the return of Luke Shaw that I believe you all must want to listen to because, I mean, this is arguably one of the top three best left backs in the world when he's fit. Manchester United's squad received another boost on Friday with the news that Luke Shaw is back training with the main group. It follows fellow defender Lenio Rowe's appearance in the session prior to the Europa League victory over PAOK at Old Trafford. With another full-back, Tyrell Malaysia, continuing on his comeback plan, there are certainly encouraging signs in terms of the overall picture. Interim head coach Ruud van Nistelrooy said in his pre-match press conference on Wednesday that Shaw was doing pitch work and progressing. He will continue working back towards full fitness during the international break as he looks forward to making his return to the team in the coming weeks. Van Nistelrooy was able to include Anthony Christian Eriksen and Mason Mount in his squad for the 2-0 victory over PAOK. Eriksen and Mount are both came on as substitutes, with Leicester City providing the opposition in Ruud van Nistelrooy's final match in temporary charge on Sunday at Old Trafford. Now, that's the statement from the club. But listen, guys, I think with a new era, this is my honest opinion. I love Luke Shaw, and like I've said, I don't think there is a better left back than him in the English Premier League currently. There is no single better left back than him. Tell me, mention a name and challenge me when he's fit, that is. But you see, in football, you are as good as the number of games you play. However good you are potentially, for as long as you're never fit to play football, you are not an asset. You become a liability because you've got to be paid crazy wages. You've got to you confuse coaches, come in, coaches plan with you in their long term, then you fall off eventually. It cannot work like that. And with a player with the capabilities and technical abilities of Luke Shaw's levels, it's even worse because when he's fit, he's good. He's so good that you've got to plan with him. There's no way you cannot plan with him. But he will never be there for 2, 3 consecutive games. So what then do you do as a coach? It's a start and stop, a start and stop. So you end up having to go back to square one whenever this player leaves because of injury. So how about you think beyond him? So for me, my view is that Luke Shaw's return should be for him to be able to get a club, because this is a player who even history clearly says, and it's unfair on him. It's bad. It's not a good thing. It's not his fault. And I want you to get it. But listen, we've got a new chapter happening at Manchester United, and it cannot be lost in the confusion of a player who is never there. So you would rather sell him and let go of him than plan with players who are fit, who are going to be available for you to play. We cannot have a new manager, Ruben Amorim, coming and hoping that Luke Shaw is going to be a big part of his 3-4-2-1, but he's never going to be there. Then whenever he goes, he has then to think of who to put there. Then he starts inverting Dalot, doing the same things that Erik ten Hag was trying to do. Those are not solutions. We are then going to be in a vicious circle, rotating around the same problem, yet we know it, but just being afraid to attack it. Guys, let's be real about it. So for me, I'm not really excited. I love the news that the guy is fit as a footballer. You want them to be fit. Luke Shaw is a good guy. He probably loves the club. But look, I think for me, we should have made up our minds by now that we can do without him because he's never available. That's my honest opinion. Now, in terms of the players, Ruben Amorim certainly will use an army for himself. As a manager, you come into a club like Manchester United with all this talk of whether Ruud van Nistelrooy will stay or not. Certainly, you need to get your own army of players who will back you, who will play for you, who will fight for you. And I've been and I still continue to do so, looking at this squad critically, and I'm thinking Ruben Amorim's should have the youngins, the players like Sekou Kone, players like Kobe Maino, players like Lenny Yoro, players like Ahmad Diallo. These are the players who should be forming the Ruben Amorim army. This is the army he should be looking to recruit. So even upon arrival, I think that has got to be clear that his plan is going to be to focus on the youngsters. You see, the great managers are always those managers who are direct in terms of what they want to do. And I heard Morten Julman comment this about Amorim, saying he's the kind of manager who communicates well with his players. And that's why some people are feeling that, well, if he's a good communicator, who then needs Ruud van Nistelrooy? Because the only reason people feel Ruud van Nistelrooy can still start Man United is because of his communication with the team. And we had Andrew Onana praising him as well, saying, he talks well with them. Same with Bruno, said the same thing about him. But of course, if Ruben Amorim is also able as the head coach to do this, who needs Ruud van Nistelrooy? Because Van Nistelrooy partly could also cause a division, because there could be players who will want to play for Van Nistelrooy, respect him, but underlook Ruben Amorim, or even Ruben Amorim himself might feel a bit subdued by the presence of Ruud van Nistelrooy. It's a rock and a hard place. It's sort of a difficult position. So probably the best thing you might find could be for him to leave, but not forgetting the positive side of him staying, being that he can help to sulk up a lot of pressure that will certainly be put on Ruben Amorim because of the natural expectation of all the entire football world about him, and of course what the British media is known for in terms of trying to fail these foreign managers when they join a club like Man United. But going back to the army, I think Amorim needs to build his army around the young kids. And when I talk about the young kids, I'm talking players like Tyrell Malaysia, because he's also back and training and fit. And in a few weeks, probably before Luke Shaw, he will be available for selection. Tyrell Malaysia should be the left-footed player he is banking on if he needs one in his team. Players like Ahmad Diallo, who is happy, excited in his own admission to work under Ruben Amorim, because for him, it's a fresh start, literally, because he was working in a space where he was constrained. He was not given enough chances and opportunities to turn up and show up and enjoy his football. Ruud van Nistelrooy has rehabilitated him. And people don't realize, by the way, how important this little short stint of transition from Ten Hag to Amorim has been, being under Ruud van Nistelrooy, and a man of his character, loved by the fans and everyone, and the pundits, respected and adored and revered. You see, he has rehabilitated these players to a point that I think Ruben Amorim is going to inherit a slightly better squad in terms of mentality, in terms of joy and happiness. It's a good thing. It was always needed in this team. So you want to credit Ruud van Nistelrooy, whether he stays or not. You want to still credit him for that. That rehabilitation is seen in how the results they get. And the results are not even about performance. He has always consistently said it. There is not a lot he can change in a few days, in 4 games. All he had to do is motivate the players to fight and win games. How they play, the playing style and structure, he cannot do that in 4 days. You're in charge of a team for 4 days and you're there thinking of adjusting and changing playing style. You can't do that. So you can't blame him for not changing the intensity of, or rather the style of play, how they pass, how they attack. But the intensity has improved because he has psyched and motivated these players to fight and win these games. And that's what they're trying to do, however poor or however unchanged the structure might be. So, but his role should never be under, cannot be should not be overemphasized. But you go back to Amorim and you're seeing a man who needs to come in and give this club a new identity. And look, a new identity is not Luke Shaw. A new identity is not these old Marcus Rashford, these old timers. No, a new identity is the new youngins, the new young kids who we know are good, who have shown their potential, but have not really been trusted and given a lot of chances by the past regimes. That's for me what I expect to see. Drop down a comment and let me know what you think, your feeling about the return of Luke Shaw. We love him, top player, but I think his best should be at 29. His best should be away from Man United. Honestly, without a shadow of a doubt. Like, share, and subscribe, and I'll catch you later, fam. Peace, love, and harmony.